Welcome to the Daily Swole. All right, so let's discuss. Today, I said we were going to be going over barefoot training. Now, let's back this up a little bit and discuss where footwear came in general. So, once running got popular and Nike came out with running shoes, what they did was they elevated the heel. They elevated the heel and allowed for tension to be taken off the Achilles tendon. So now it starts in a shorter position, and then when you step, when you run, when you heel strike, it actually, once the Achilles tendon stretches, it's not to its maximal length. So it kind of takes stress off the Achilles tendon and makes it seemingly easier for the runner. Backtracking earlier, it's natural for human beings to run with barefoot. And you notice right now, if you've worn shoes your entire life, I challenge you, take off your shoes and go running down the hall or running out in the grass. You're going to run on your forefoot and your midfoot. You're going to run on the balls of your feet, kind of like an Olympic sprinter. So one of these concepts with barefoot training is taking us back to our roots. Now, I'm writing a blog on this as well to complement the live broadcast. With barefoot training, you have to think about how a baby is treated. We have these 1-year-olds, we have these 2-year-olds, we have these infants, these little babies, and they are getting little booties. They have like little Nikes on, on 6-month-old child and a year-old. What you're doing, you're essentially taking a foot that's meant to be more spread out and webbed, and you're conforming it. It's kind of like binding feet, like the old Chinese tradition, folding the feet under and the foot would form. It's kind of like your body will grow and fit into the container or the box or the space in which it's given. So if you put an infant's shoe or foot into a shoe, it's going to conform the baby's foot. It's going to pull the pinky toe in, it's going to pull the outer toes in, and it's going to kind of curve and narrow the foot. Now, the problem with this is that the only part of the body that touches the ground is the foot. So it's like having a Ferrari, $500,000 car, then you have $100 tires. This could go right off the road. The only thing that touches the ground with the car are the tires. The only thing that touches the ground on the body, unless you walk on your hands and you're in Cirque du Soleil and all that stuff, is the feet. So the first contact is really important. It's going to determine what the body does, how the body aligns itself all the way up the kinetic chain. So with barefoot training, it is bringing back this mentality. It's bringing back this idea that we should be training more naturally. It's one and the same. It came with the movement of functional training. It came right in line with all the stabilization movements, the functional, the balls, the bands, the cables. Everything's really popular now. All this functional stuff, all this crawling, animalistic movement, moving naturally, moving the way the body designs you, flat shoes, kind of slipper shoes. This is all the Ninja Warrior stuff. This is all really popular now. So it gave marketplace, it gave market share to these barefoot and these flat sole and these innovative innovative companies to create this product. So for example, Vibram, or Vibram, however you want to pronounce it, I call it Vibram. These are the classics. Now, they don't make these anymore, as far as I'm aware, for men, because a lot of men don't want to wear slippers, but this is what I wear in the gym, and I have several pairs of these. Now, you have about 3 millimeter of rubber, and you have the webbed feet, so it's really a slipper. Now, they have ones with Velcro. They have ones that, cover the top. They have ones that are more stylish. They have different colors. They have different, different models. They have ones that have more tread on the bottom for hiking and for outdoors, or for, more things that are more waterproof, or maybe tied at the top. So if you want to do diving in them, you could do for more boating. But this is the basic. And the reason why I like this one is because I feel this one the least. If I have anything on top, if I have Velcro, if I have shoelaces, it's like I'm wearing a shoe. This I barely even feel. Once you break them in, I barely even feel those. These are the Vibram Classic for men. And what I like about this is it's just material. It's just material. It's like wrapping a cloth around my foot. So it allows my foot to move naturally. Now you have, over 50, 60 ligaments, tendons, bones, tons and tons and tons of little structures in the foot. Now, these are all very sensitive. And I'm going to say this, hypersensitive, especially now after your entire life of not using this footwear, of using shoes and things that have an arch, that have a big support, that have a huge elevated heel. Those types of shoes take pressure off the foot, take pressure off the muscles, the musculature. You have arch support. That's a marketing. That's a marketing device. That's a marketing ploy these companies use. Say, oh look, better arch support. You know, honestly, you don't want arch support. You don't want arch support because guess what? Your arch is not going to be strengthening. Your arch is the one that's not going to be providing strength for the integrity of your foot. So what you're doing essentially is just wearing a weight belt around all the time, wearing wraps, wearing assistance all day long when you wear shoes. Now, women especially have elevated heels. They wear those high heels. Let's not even get into how crushing that is for the bone structure. So anytime you elevate the heels, what you're going to do is create a lot more of an anterior tilt in the pelvis and thus require the back to arch more and create more of an arch in the lower back to compensate for that elevated heel. That's going to lead to chronic back pain. That could lead to hamstring problems. That could lead to more hip problems. That could lead to sciatic issues. That could lead to all sorts of things, shoulder problems, neck pain. You can wear heels all day long to work every day, and guess what? You can have chronic neck pain because of it. Believe it. It's just like in my core activation video on YouTube. It's about Jenga. The body is Jenga. You move one little block out of the way a couple inches, and then you move the other one. You have to move each one a little bit different directions in order to balance out the spine, to balance out the structure, to make sure that it's secure. So with barefoot training, we are bringing back the natural movement of the body. Now, the bones and the structure could have been formed for like 30 years, 40 years maybe. So how do you, the most important thing is, we've discussed already, and obviously I'm a proponent of barefoot training. I feel like people that have strong enough feet, that have strong arches, that don't have any issues like excessively pronating feet where their arch is completely flattens when they're barefoot, people that aren't at a lot of risk, that don't have a lot of internal knee movement valgus that would cause shearing or pain or maybe some weakness or risk for the Achilles, not for the Achilles, for the ACL and the ligaments in the knee. People that are good candidates for barefoot training should move into this kind of training carefully. Now, you want to strengthen all your muscles. So I say, why would you not want to strengthen the muscle in the bottom of your feet? Super important. You can walk around barefoot and so forth, but doing strength training, doing resistance in a barefoot shoe or doing it barefoot is super important. So how do you go about implementing barefoot training? Well, a lot of these companies will give you proper information. They have blogs, they have websites, but they have information on how to implement their footwear. Now, my recommendations are to wear the shoes or the barefoot shoes or do barefoot activities gradually. If you're not used to doing barefoot training and you're wearing shoes all the time, you really have to be careful how quickly you implement barefoot training. You just start doing barefoot training. Let's say you just, hey, I've never done barefoot training before. I'm on vacation, let me go to the beach and do sprints. You are going to strain muscles in the bottom of your foot. You can injure your Achilles tendon. You can get plantar fasciitis, get inflammation. These things that take a long time to heal because guess what? You have inflammation on the bottom of your foot. You're never really resting. It's hard to sit there and elevate your foot and let the inflammation go down because you're always walking. You're always pounding, walking around on your feet. So it's very hard to recover from those types of tendinitis and inflammations. So make sure when you do implement barefoot footwear of your choice to do it slowly. Do it maybe an hour out of the day and then do one workout, go light, don't go running and do any hardcore like squats or anything maybe the first day. Just start walking around more barefoot. Get your body used to being barefoot. Another thing, with your selection of the shoe, there's so many kinds. You don't have to get the ones. If you don't like the way these 5-finger Vibrams look, and I'll explain why people might like, they make shoes now, sneakers, footwear, that have one single toe box where it's like a regular sneaker, classic sneaker, and they're more flat. So the most important thing that you can start with is to get a thinner sole and to get less of an incline, okay? Less of an angle with that heel. You got to decrease Facebook Live and the Periscope. So you have to make sure you decrease that that heel angle, okay? So decrease that platform. So make that thinner. That'll bring down the ankle. So imagine, let's say this is flat. The heels are always elevated wearing regular sneakers. You're pulling that heel back down by going flat. The problem with that, doing that too often and too intense, is that all of a sudden the Achilles tendon was this short and now you're dropping the heel and now it's longer. So now all of a sudden this tendon that's kind of formed hard, tight, short from wearing high heel sneakers and high heels your entire life, what you do now is dropping the heel and putting all of a sudden tension, pulling on it, even when you're standing still. So be careful with the implementation of barefoot training, especially with any kind of like running or plyometric. Be very, very careful. What about skate shoes that are elevated by a constant rate between, you mean like platforms like Vans or, is it Vans? Vans or, what the hell does it make? Is it Skechers or, no, Vans or, Vans. So you mean like a flat, but they're flat like a platform. Well, here's the thing. Anytime you have a platform, anytime you have cushioning under the foot, you are decreasing the impact on the ground, you're increasing the ground feedback. So there's different aspects. You have, good question by the way, you have, if you have cushion, they still have support. And support means it's helping you. So I would say if it's flat, it's better. But I think Vans usually have if you have a thicker sole, it's harder for the shoe to flex at times, and it can affect your gait, your walk. One of the things with barefoot training or with minimalist shoes, it's called minimalist footwear, is that you'll walk the way you're supposed to walk. Now, of course, there's a lot of concrete and everything, so I never recommend running or anything in barefoot shoes on pavement. If people do it, I think it's crazy. I think human beings are meant to run barefoot, but they're meant to run barefoot on. They're also the way. If we're talking about evolution, we're talking about where human beings came from. Talking hundreds of thousands of years ago. So when you start thinking about it, hundreds of thousands of years ago, okay, we have human beings barefoot, but we didn't have millions of miles of concrete. So you're running on dirt, you're running on sand, you're running on grass. Barefoot on grass, amazing. Dirt, not as comfortable, but it gives. Concrete, blacktop doesn't give. So running on hard surfaces with barefoot, you're asking for stress fractures. That's the thing. That's one of the effects of implementing barefoot training too quickly, is you are going to risk yourself for things like inflammation and stress fractures, and those things take a long time to heal. So I would recommend Vans. The lower grade, it's flatter, but still you got a thick sole. So they're better than high heels. I'll tell you that much. But still, shoes affect the way your gait, and that's the way you walk. That's the way your heel and your foot strikes while you take a step. And there's posture, how you stand up. There's also dynamic posture, how your body balances itself in motion. So once you affect all those things, and we're talking like maybe you don't wear Vans one day and all of a sudden, oh, I have back pain, but you wear shoes like this for 10, 15, 20, 30 years and over time. So if you can, I just challenge you to try it. I'm not saying you have to. I'm not saying you're going to die. What I'm saying is I want you to try to do more stuff barefoot. Try to strengthen every muscle. I like to think of myself as a bodybuilder in the truest sense of the word. I'm not trying to get like these guys on the Olympia stage. I'm not trying to, take anabolics and get ridiculously veiny and disgustingly huge. Disgustingly huge, I don't mean that in a negative. I just mean that as like, you're getting massive. But I like to develop every single muscle. I like to develop everything. The muscle in the feet, important. The muscle in the neck, important. The muscle in the hand, important. You'll see me in my live broadcast for workouts. I'm doing a lot of wrist rolling, but wrist rolling with the TheraBand. So I'm doing eccentric for my forearm so I don't get tendinitis. So certain exercises that are super important, the little things that people don't realize, but guess what? You get tendinitis when you grip things, you're going to start having inflammation, and it affects every single workout you do. So these are little things that most people don't think about that are important, that can make or break your training on a regular basis. And anything I can do to keep myself working out consistently is the most important thing. So in terms of footwear, again, back to this, some people don't like this. The toes, the separation of the toe. It's a little bit weird at first, I'll be honest. It's a little weird, and you feel it because you're not used to it. You're used to having one solid toe box. But now that you have the 5 fingers here, as these are so called, you separate the pinky. Now a lot of times people don't like that because it pulls our pinky out to the side. Well, it's not really pulling the pinky. You're just so used to wearing a shoe where the pinky is pulled in. It's kind of bending the pinky in. So now all of a sudden when you separate a little bit, it feels like a dramatic pull because you're used to all your life having the pinky tucked in next to the 5th toe, pulled in next to the 4th toe. So now you do this, and the pinky is separate, and it kind of feels like it's pulled off to the side a little bit. So it's that illusion that it's getting pulled out to the side, but for some people it's really uncomfortable. So they do make shoes, some of these style shoes, where they have these 2 toes are one solid box, so it kind of looks even stranger. It's like it's got 4 instead of 5. I would rather have 5 toes than have a shoe with 4, but they make them. They make ones with 4 that looks more like a Ninja Turtle, but they put these 2 together because a lot of people were complaining about the toe box, so a company came out, and I think Fila makes them, or probably other ones too, but they put these 2 together so you didn't have that feel of that separation. The most important thing is that you are decreasing your separation with the ground. Don't underestimate the importance. Don't underestimate the importance of your body's connection with the earth. I don't like wearing lifting gloves because I like to feel the weight. I like the contact, and I like the actual interaction, and I like just the manipulation. I like to feel what I'm moving. I like to feel my body's physical reaction. I like to be in contact. I don't want to have miles or inches and inches of just thick fluffiness between my response with the ground, especially with the ground with squats. I want to feel where the pressure is. I want to put pressure on my heel, on the outside of my heel, on the outside edge of my foot, on my big toe, on my small toe, on the inside of my heel. I want to be able to manipulate my foot in any position to hit different muscles. And believe me, lifting the arch, doing different things. If you do yoga, you know how important it is. You're doing certain poses, doing warrior 1, warrior 2, lifting the arch, cupping and pulling the heel up. You see that I post on Snapchat when I'm teaching my hot yoga classes. I'm nitpicky. I'm always telling people, pull those arches up, really keep the integrity of the foot and drive the outer blade of the outer edge of the foot in when you're doing these warrior 1 and these rotational basic poses. But some of these small details get lost, and barefoot training will improve that. It will improve that. It'll improve your proprioception, which is your body's awareness to its surroundings. It'll improve. People always say, oh man, you're going to drop something, you're going to stub your toe, this, that, and the other. Well, guess what? When you're barefoot, you think you would step and bang your I never have dropped a weight on my foot with these on. Never. I've smashed my thumb, but I've never smashed my toes. I rarely even step or anything and kick it. You know why? Because when you're barefoot, you're naturally you're more aware. When you wear shoes, you walk around, kick things. Oh, I kicked the live periscope. You'll kick things. You'll kick a door closed. You'll kick something out of the way, like it's nothing because you're protected and you're used to it. When you start walking around barefoot, all of a sudden, you're more aware. You don't step on glass because you're looking where you walk. It's natural to look where you walk. You're supposed to. You're supposed to eat with your hands too. That's going to spur some questions. You're supposed to eat with your hands, similar to barefoot training. I can explain that. That could be a whole other live broadcast, why you should eat with your hands. People ate with their hands, there'd be a lot less issues. Small issues, not major issues, but a lot less problems. It's safer. It's safer to eat with your hands. I'll explain why. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow, eat with your hands. Should have done that today for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there, by the way. But yeah, we should do that today and be like, your mother always told you not to eat with your hands. I'm telling you, you should eat with your hands. Opportunity lost. We'll do it tomorrow. So any questions, any more questions on the barefoot training? That's really good stuff. Really, really good stuff. I love it. Today is going to be probably hamstring day for me. And I'm going to bust out my barefoot shoes like I always do. Yeah, this is great stuff. This is absolutely great stuff. So strengthening. These things there's nothing here. Oh. Don't be mean. But the Vibrams, they are just one of a ton. You could go and type in barefoot shoes and go check them out. But I love this brand, and I've been using it since they really started putting out their popularity like 4 or 5 years ago. And I recommend everyone try barefoot training, try it. Let me know how you like it. Let me know how you like it. Just go barefoot for a little while. Go barefoot in your house. Go barefoot outside. Go step in some grass and get in touch with the earth a little bit more. Get in touch with your surroundings. Get your balance. Get your proprioception. Start strengthening stuff up again. We will be here. I apologize again for the late broadcast on Facebook Live, and thank you for the patience on Periscope while I was setting that up. Internet connection, Facebook Live wasn't cooperating, but it happens. And if it ever happens, here's the thing. I'll only be able to do one at a time if I don't have connection for one. So if there's any issue, with one broadcast, maybe I'll alternate, but it'll either be Facebook Live or Periscope. If one goes down, I'll post on Facebook Live saying, hey, you can meet me on Periscope. So anyone that follows me on Facebook Live, that's great. You should also download Periscope, even if you prefer to watch it on Facebook Live. It would be good because if there's an issue, I will post on the page and say, hey, internet's not working or something, or I'm out and about and I only have one mobile device available, and I'll be doing a Periscope instead. So I can really, I would have to pick and choose. So, but every day at 12 noon, no matter what, you're gonna get a broadcast. So here's another thing. Every episode is going to be posted on YouTube. Yesterday's episode will be posted today. So all these episodes will be online. So if for whatever reason, my phone just blows up, my iPad gets taken by a fucking bald eagle, I will sit here and record an episode, and it will be on YouTube, and the discussion will occur on YouTube. We will not miss an episode. We will not miss a day, and it will be posted. So every day at 12, I appreciate the support. Please check out my YouTube channel. I will be posting up all these videos. Get the conversation started. Like, share, subscribe my videos, get the word out there every day at 12 noon. And those of you that know, you're asking me questions, I got answers for you, and if I don't, I'll find them. Ask me questions like someone did about barefoot training, and look, it became a daily Swole. So throw those questions out there. Send me questions on Snapchat. I'll screenshot these things, and I will put these questions out there on the forum if they're not answered. Sometimes people are asking me generic questions like, do you like, is barefoot training good for you? So that's just answered in my rhetoric. But if you have specific questions, really like the Vans question, like those specific shoe questions, yeah, throw them out there. Throw them out there. Send me some information, and let's put that into action, because your questions are going to pretty much really, those answers that I'm going to be giving you will answer a lot of people's questions. Not everyone wants to ask. Not everyone puts themselves out there to ask. But there are no stupid, remember, there are no stupid questions, only when they're asked without flexing. All right, remember, every day, 12 noon, Facebook Live and Periscope. Hashtag everything in excess. Live your life large. Be huge. Be swole. Work out today. Love to all the mothers out there. We will see you. We will see you. I will see you. You love Bulletproof Coffee? You know what? Cheers. Cheers. I'll cheers to everyone. Drink your coffee. Drink your coffee. Get your Bulletproof Coffee on, and, and give some to mom. Give some to mom. Let's talk Bulletproof Coffee tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. Let's get the week started off right. Bulletproof Coffee tomorrow. So everyone is asking me about Bulletproof Coffee. Who knows? Maybe we'll do a section. I'll get the ingredients. Maybe we'll make it together. It'll be on YouTube, and it'll be there for all time. So when everyone asks me, what's in it? What do you do? What do you like about it? I'll show you how I make it. Okay? I'm not going to give you marketing spiel. I'm going to tell you how I make it, and it works great. So tomorrow, Bulletproof Coffee. It's going to be a good show. We'll make coffee. Oh, we're going to make coffee, or drink coffee at least. All right. So it's a great way to start a Monday, start a week. Any other questions can be directed to my Snapchat, my Instagram. Check out my blog at Swolenormous.com, my apparel, Kegel shirts, check that out. And yeah, follow me around, follow me up, and let's get your questions answered. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you want to see on the show. I appreciate the feedback always. And those of you that know that have been, messaging me on Snapchat and everything, I get back to every single message. No matter how long it takes. So I will get back to you as soon as possible. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your Sunday. Cheers. Yeah, buddy. All right. See everyone tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Peace out.